Yes, guys. Ryjack back with another stream. We are here this evening. It won't be too long of a stream, but there's a lot going on in the world of Manchester City, and I felt like doing a tier list of the seasons each individual player has had. The season is basically at its end. We have one Premier League game left. There's, of course, the Champions League final. We got to figure out who's going to go down in relegation battle, but Arsenal have won the Premier League, which is fine. We can talk about that as well if you'd like, but one match day left in the Prem for City. It is Villa. We can talk about Villa a little bit, but it doesn't really feel like the Villa game has any real meaning, if you know what I mean. It feels very, it's a game that we are playing because we have it on the schedule, but, there's nothing to play for, unfortunately. I would be interested maybe to see that lineup, to see who is going to play. I'm hoping we get a nice 90 minutes out of John Stones, of course. That would be pretty cool to see. It would be nice to see him get a nice send-off. Maybe not 90 minutes, maybe 60, and he gets subbed off, and he gets a nice ovation. Same with Bernardo, something like that. It's, of course, Pep Guardiola's last home game, as we've been made to believe. I guess technically the club have not confirmed it yet, but I think everybody pretty much knows it is over in terms of Pep leaving the club, and Enzo is going to be the manager, man. It's going to be Enzo, which I'm excited for. I'm cool with Pep leaving. I'm cool with Enzo coming in. Like, of course, I'd be, super excited if Pep decided to stay. But I kind of felt like this was what's going to happen, and I'm open to a new era, I guess we'll say. A new era of City and everything going on. Quite a bit of transfer news flowing around. A lot of outs, really. I haven't seen a whole lot of ins lately. I mean, it's really just Elliot Anderson's coming to City. We kind of know that already. Anyone else coming, we're not entirely sure. There's names here and there, and everybody in the chat, they can let me know who they think we should sign, and we can discuss those, of course. But it feels a lot like Elliot Anderson is happening, and then there's maybe a right back that we're going to get. There's maybe another midfielder, maybe a winger. I see Neepin's in the chat. Says, yo, good morning. How are you? I know it's early for you over there. Luis Gomez says, how you feeling about Pep? Luis, I'm all right. I kind of expected Pep leaving. Like, I felt like this was going to happen this year. That's how I've felt and talked about on the channel for a long time. So, like, I'm not, like, shocked or anything. Of course, I would like have him to have stayed. I would have enjoyed having another season of Pep because he's our best ever manager, probably going to be the best manager we've ever had, So that's how I feel. Like, but I also understand the guy's been here 10 years. Like, how much more can we ask of the guy, So I'm cool with Enzo coming in. I think it makes sense. Enzo's going to be the new guy, and we'll see how he does. Clean slate manager-wise. I'm hoping he'll do well. For sure. Today I woke up early to clean my house, so I caught you live. Nice, man, nice. I know normally I don't go live this late, but I'm trying a new 8 p.m. time slot to see how that works. Potentially this could be a new time slot where, a lot of other people aren't streaming, and potentially we get some more people in the stream and just, chop it up, hang out. Lots gonna happen in the summer as well. Transfer window, transfer news. Quite a bit of outgoings I feel like are happening, Enzo Fernandez to City is a big possibility. This as well, I think, is going to gain some steam. I kind of agree with that. I don't know if I've seen, let me look it up here on Twitter. I don't think I saw anything today, but there was something a while ago about Enzo Fernandez, man. Okay, ESPN Argentina. Hold on. Webcam just died on me for a second there. My apologies. But yeah, right here, I mean, the Zone Football puts it out according to ESPN Argentina. Chelsea midfielder Enzo Fernandez would be very keen to reunite with Enzo at City. I mean, I kind of am open to this. Like, Enzo's kind of a baller, guys. I feel like Enzo gets a bad rap. And, like, maybe he's just a bit underrated considering, like, 60 games, 16 goals, 10 assists. I mean, that's durability is a big plus there. He's got 10 goals in the Prem from the midfield, like attacking 8 box-to-box position. 4 assists is all right as well. So I'm like, player-wise, I'm open to the Enzo stuff. Like, I think it makes sense if he really likes Maresca, and if Maresca really likes him, maybe Xabi Alonso doesn't like him. I would be down on Enzo player-wise. There's some stuff out there about him, like, when he was with Argentina that I don't really know about. People are saying he said something, like, inappropriate or racist or something. And I looked on Twitter, and I couldn't find a clip of it. So, honestly, I don't know what it was. But, I mean, people say that they don't like him, like, personality-wise. So, maybe there's a problem there. I don't know. Would you prefer Enzo or Anderson? Probably Anderson, just because he is younger. Actually, now that I say that, Enzo's only 25. That's still pretty young. I don't know. It's probably Anderson. He's younger. Plus, he's English, which helps with homegrown, which means you can get a foreign player in another position, potentially. So, like, I think Anderson is the number one priority, and then Fernandez, like, would be a plus. Potentially, like, a second player you also get in the midfield. But again, I don't know if you can afford that. I don't know if City can spend 80 on Anderson and 80 on Enzo, and then, like, 50 on a winger and, like, 30 on a right back and 20 on a backup. Like, that feels like a lot to me in this summer. I'd be pissed if Josko leaves. A lot of Josko stuff out there. I don't really believe the Josko stuff. The growing comment on there is that he's unhappy with game time, but, like, that does not track, in my opinion. He has played 1,300 minutes in the Prem this year, which obviously isn't a lot, but he's missed half of the season with a leg break. Like, look at how much this guy plays every year. He's played more at City than he did at Leipzig. 46-41, 42-53, and then this year he got hurt halfway through the year. So, I mean, you can roughly double that number, and he's back at 50 games. Like, I don't get that. The Josko wants game time thing. Like, how many minutes into stream? I just started 10 minutes ago. So, no, not too late. Don't worry. Give me Anderson, Reed, Yan Diomande, and Pierce Charles. I don't know who Pierce Charles is, unless that's that goalie, the international, that English goalie who could be the backup. I don't know. The way Maresca plays, Donna will lose his spot at Trafford, and we will need a new backup. I'm all on board with promoting Trafford and getting rid of Donnarumma. I just don't think, now that I've watched Donnarumma for a season, like, I've come to the realization that I prefer Trafford as a keeper, personally. Like, that's my take on that. I know Donnarumma has experience and he's won a lot, but the way I think City played best is out the back, and I just think Trafford is better by a mile at that specific thing. Who's the other guy you said? Pierce Charles. Who's Pierce Charles? Pierce Charles is at Sheffield Wednesday. He's a goalie. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is, man. 2 clean sheets in 19 matches. That's not great, but Sheffield Wednesday, I feel like, were really bad, if I remember right. If I remember correctly, Sheffield Wednesday were, like, the worst team in the championship. Didn't they go down? Yeah, they're the worst team on 0 points because of a deduction, but still. I mean, they would have been on 18 points. Yeah, my goodness, they're bad. So I don't know if that's fair to judge the two clean sheets thing. But, hey, fair point. What was your reaction to Bournemouth game? I just sat in silence for about 30 minutes. I wasn't, like, that crazily upset because I still think even if we won, we're not winning the league because I don't think that Arsenal were going to lose to Crystal Palace's, like, kids team. Crystal Palace are not playing anybody on Wednesday or against Arsenal on Sunday because of their game on Wednesday. So I had very small hope once we drew the Everton game that we would win the league. So I wasn't, like, losing my mind, I guess. You know, I was upset that we didn't perform greatly against Bournemouth, but like to be honest with you, we didn't rotate the team enough. The team for one looked gassed against Chelsea, and then we basically played the same lineup 3 days later. So I wasn't really like the only change I think was Marmoush out, right? And Trafford out, which doesn't really count. I mean, it was basically the same team. Spenio, Silva, Kovacic, Doku, Haaland. Yeah, Kovacic came in, Marmoush came out, but everything else was basically the same, which is like not surprising. We didn't look great in the FA Cup final either. So I don't know. Shea Charles' younger brother, we were looking at him a while back. Fairs. The Everton game cost us. Well, yes, the Everton game cost us, but over the season, you know, we did have 9 draws. That's not 9 draws and 5 losses. So it's not just the Everton game. There's 14 games where we drop points. Those are the ones that, you know, cost you, unfortunately. That's how it goes. But while we're here, I was planning on doing a tier list talking about each individual player's season, which I feel like can be fun to discuss each individual player, and then we could maybe discuss if we think they should stay, if we think they should go. This is more this season, though. This season specifically. How have they done? Life if Enzo Fernandez and Elliot Anderson decides not to score versus us. Oh, against us. I got you. I was confused for a second, but I understand. I get what you're saying. Elliot Anderson did score against us. You're right. Did Enzo score against us? I don't remember the Chelsea game. I know we drew. Tricky better be on top. Well, we should take a look here. First up, Savinho. I mean, it is just a D. It's a D for Savinho. Unfortunately, he's not very good at football. He has got some pace. He's got some dribbling ability. He's decent at creating a chance here and there, but the finishing is so woeful. He has 1 Prem goal this year, 1 Prem goal last year. That's unacceptable as a winger. Yes, he had 10 assists or whatever it was last year, but he's only got, 3 or 4 or 5 this year. Not good enough season. Savinho obviously is a D tier season-wise. Like, could he make it at Man City? Maybe, potentially, but I also think he potentially is sold this summer. There's reports out there about Savinho potentially leaving the club, and I wouldn't be that upset, to be honest with you. Z tier. Jeez. You know what's crazy? We used to be able to rotate. Like, we have Rico Lewis, Alvarez rotate a lot, and we still used to win big games. Now we started our best team versus Burnley, and we're crap. You know, I know a lot of people say this, and yes, the team is not nearly as probably at the highest level as good as it has been in the past. However, we are, at this point, 1 game left in the season, 4 points back from winning the Premier League and winning a treble. So, like, we're surely not that far away. You know? Like, we are, in essence, 2 goals away from winning the Premier League. Assuming we win on Sunday and Arsenal win on Sunday. We're two individual goals away from winning the Prem. You win the Bournemouth game, you win the Everton game, or any other draw out there. We're 2 goals where we drew, just score 1 extra goal in those 2 games where we win the Prem. You know? Like, we can't be that far away. We cannot be that far away. But yes, Savinho is a bottom tier performance this season, unfortunately for him, and I think potentially he leaves in the summer. If you get an offer of 40 to 50 million, I would take that. I know some people will want to hold out for more and whatnot, but to me, like, I'd be selling if you get that money in. Okay, he has blood on his hands. That's a bit much. Like, yes, he made an error, but again, Trafford made the error in the Spurs game. There's errors across the board. He's just the latest one, you know? Ruben Diaz, what do we feel about him? I feel like Diaz is probably like a B tier season for Ruben Diaz. Like, it's pretty good with me. pretty good with in my opinion. I'd be good with that, I think. Um, he's lost his place in the team, but he also got hurt towards the end. I think for the most part he was really good. I don't know that I could say he's S tier or A tier. I think B is solid. Do you think we are in title contention for next season? Can you make predictions who will win next season? I do think we're in title contention next year for sure. The squad is good as is, and you'd think in the summer, yes, we're losing some experience, but we should be improving the squad in the summer. And maybe there's something with like Rodri leaving potentially. That's pretty unfortunate potential, but I think we can win the league next season for sure. Diaz C. Kusanov overshadowed him. Yo, ATF, how we doing? If you haven't already, guys, do like the stream. That helps a lot. Get more people in here, of course. Now, C is like, barely passing. He was good for the majority of the season. I know, this is crazy. I went live so late he's here because it's morning for him. I know. Anderson's just like Rice. We can't fumble. I think Anderson's basically done, guys. Husanov, I'd go A tier. I don't know if I'd say S just yet. He's been very, very good. Very impressive. I think A, probably, for Kusanov, right? Or are we going to go with S for Kusanov? Center back, young, first, full season. What are we rating? We are rating individual players' seasons in the Premier League in this year. In 25-26 season for Man City, this is just how they did. Yeah, I think A tier, man. I think A tier. Next season will be us. United, Arsenal, Chelsea would be similar levels. Potentially, yeah. A lot of improvements. I think A tier is fair for Kusanov, and maybe next year, if he keeps improving, he'll be an S tier type of season for him, potentially. Josko, a bit incomplete, unfortunately. Ramsey says, I'd say he has improved massively, though. Kusanov has improved massively, that's fair, but I don't think he would have been A tier last year. Last year was probably between C and B, I would think. Something like that. So I think A is fair. Although I think if somebody wants to put him S, I don't think I would complain too much. Have you ever crashed out at a City game? Not really. I try to be level-headed, and I do stream most of the games, so you guys see my reaction most of the games. However, Champions League is a little bit different because I don't get to stream Champions League games. I do kind of crash out at Champions League games. Like when we lose to Real Madrid every freaking year, I do kind of lose that a bit. Josko Gavardiol. He's either B or C. B or C. He had a long spell of injury. So C is almost harsh. I go B, I think. B for Josko. B for Josko is probably fair because he probably deserves, if he had kept playing, he would have been up there. He'd have been up there, I think. So I think B. I think B tier. Yeah, B tier. Kusa and S, Gay A, Diaz B. Of the three, Kusa has been the best. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know. I feel like Gay may have been the best. Or at least level with Kusanov. B tier from Cam. Was a regular starter. Yeah, I think B is fair. Who we got next? O'Reilly, I think no complaints, right? That he's been our best player, potentially, right? Potentially O'Reilly's been our best player this year. S tier, easy. Young player of the year in the Prem, I think is in the bag, and he's in contention for our player of the season, probably. I think that's fair, probably. When he played, he was good, just didn't get to see him enough. True. Kusa is better than Gehi, says Amir. I think it's very, very close. I think in some ways, Kusanov is better, in some ways Gehi's better. Easy S tier for O'Reilly, for sure. For sure, S tier. Kusa has been consistently top. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Cherky and Haaland, S. Can you do a lineup builder for a Man City team next season? Well, not currently. Not currently. We're doing this currently. We got to finish this currently. That can be another idea, though. We will look at that for sure. I think that's fair. Haaland. Do I want to go S for Haaland? I feel like he had a nice 2 months where he just, like, didn't do it, you know? Like, can I say A tier for Haaland, or are we all going with S for Haaland? Shout out to Elias. What's up, Elias? One of the members on the channel. So, big ups to Elias for the membership, of course. I will shout out all the guys and the members in the chat when they come through. You let me down. I know, man. I'm sorry. City couldn't quite get it done. But Spurs, shout out to Spurs, maybe staying up. Maybe A tier for Haaland. I think A tier fits because, yes, he's been, like, very good. He's been very good. But we've seen better Haaland seasons than this, I think. S for Haaland. Getting ahead of yourselves, but Roger with a D tier, jeez. Your team held us back. To be fair, if Spurs didn't exist and we just got 6 points out of those 2 fixtures, we would have won the league. I think A tier for Haaland. Ait-Nouri. Ryan Ait-Nouri, man. That is a fantastic question. That one I don't know. I feel like there's been some good moments, but I don't know. This is what I think as well, Cam. A for Haaland is period Q1 26, where he didn't score, is where we dropped the league. Good point. That is partially his lack of performance is why we did not win the league as well. You know? Should have given you guys points. C tier for Ait-Nouri. Ait-Nouri's a C. I think as well. That's what I was going to go as well. C. He's not been bad, but he's not played enough probably to get into like the B tier, even though I think potentially next year he could be like a improved player. And I like Ait-Nouri. I'm happy that he's on the team. I'm happy with him as a left back option. But I think C probably as well. Not enough game time. Yeah, he needs more. He needs more game time next year. But left back next year could be interesting with O'Reilly, Ait-Nouri, Josko. We'll see. Maybe O'Reilly moves into midfield way more. Apparently Enzo likes to invert his fullbacks. Can Ait-Nouri do that? I think probably. But Josko is probably sick at inverted fullback, you know? Moving into midfield, Josko is probably sick at that. So I don't know. Next on the list, Nico G. Nico G is a good one because he's had a bit of a roller coaster season. There was a point in the year where Nico G was like performing at, close to the highest level of almost any player. But there's also a large chunk of the season where just like doesn't see the field at all, So B, like he's definitely not an A tier. I feel like B. B? What are you guys saying? B, Nico is a C. B. I don't know. I feel like B. C is a little bit harsh because we forget, like, he carried us for a good while of the year. Pep just, like, doesn't like him for some reason. B for Nico. He's not an A just because Pep didn't trust him. I think B is fair. B. A lot of B's. I think B is good. Penguins have entered the chat. What's up, Penguin? How we doing? Similar thing to Ait-Nouri. Hasn't played enough, but kinda quality, says Amir. I like Nico G. However, he is a player I would watch this summer. I feel like if Rodri stays, Nico G is out the door. He is leaving this club and going to go find a place where he can actually play. So I think there's a player in there. He just doesn't play, man. He does not play. All right, an interesting one. Mark Gahey next. Yeah, I think the Everton performance let Pep down. True. Pep doesn't trust him, man. Mark Gahey is up for consideration. He's been awesome. I've loved the Mark Gahey signing. It was 20 mil, January signing. I think if we don't sign Gahey, we're definitely not in the position to be competing to win the Prem, because we're probably playing for a long time Max Aline and Kuzanov, or Kuzanov and Ake. And I just think Gahey's been really good. A for Gahey, Gahey B, between A and B. B would be a B, but would be A, but he gave Beto an assist. I definitely think it's between A and B. Has he been better than Yosko and Ruben Diaz? I think B. I think B. But it's very, very close. Very close. Cam says A, stepped right in and kept us afloat at a very difficult time. Maybe I'm not considering how difficult it was to do what he did, where he just like seamlessly fit into the team, came in, didn't really miss a beat. Like, maybe A is a fair shout. Maybe I should go A. I like A. Good call. Good call, Cam. A for Gahey. Ooh, divisive one here. Philip Walter Foden, man. Is D tier too harsh for Phil? Phil's stats, I'm going to look at his stats while I consider this, because his stats actually are not that bad. Like 20, what is that? 21 GA. He's improved off of last year. Obviously last year was way worse, 15 GA. But this year right here wasn't just so incredible that we've seen the heights of Phil get to. Like, he basically had the same season as the season before his player of the season. I feel like, yeah, C, good for half of the season. C, okay. B, his peak was genuinely peak, even towards the end he had good games. I think overall, I'm with you guys. Generally, I think a C. It's not a D. He had 20 plus GA contributions like in the season. They can't be a D. You know, he's probably second or third in GA contributions this season, with like Semenyo / Cherky, and then Holland's obviously first. Max Aline. Can you check Saka stats for the season? Sure. They're not great. I think everybody knows that. Bukayo Saka. 11 goals, 7 assists. In the Prem, he's got 7 and 5. What was Foden? 7 and 5. The same. Basically the same. Saka or Foden? I mean, peak Foden is better than Saka. I feel like all around, like, probably lately it's been Saka's been better, like, generally, but the peak Foden is better. We might get Bernardo Silva, says Luis. Oh, Luis is a Barca fan. Yeah, there's news that he wants to go to Barca. There's also news that I talked about last night that he wanted to go to Madrid. So I feel like probably Barca, but one to watch for sure. Glad Foden's not going to World Cup. Can't wait for England to fail and the media to pile on Saka Rice. Cam, I'm guessing you're not English. I don't mind if like England does well, because City have so many English players that, like, I'd like to see John Stones win a World Cup, or Mark Gahey win a World Cup, or Trafford, you know? Like, there's some English players in our team that I'd be kind of happy for. Elliot Anderson as well, going to be a City player. So I'm okay if England do all right, but it's going to be the USA's World Cup to win, guys. The USA will win this World Cup, don't you worry. In his better than Messi season, Saka had 2 more GA than the worst season. And we have Arsenal fans. Yes, I know. Anderson or Warren? I'd go Anderson. Anderson's much better, I think. Anderson's much better. For Max Aline, though, I think you probably go C. He had, like, very minimal appearances. Not really much to talk about Max Aline. He did okay. He did all right. I want Haaland to win World Cup. That is because your country did not make the World Cup. Because they don't have a good football team, bro. If USA wasn't there, I'd be with you, though. I'd be with you. Norway all the way for Oscar Bob. Where's taking May? USA will win the World Cup. Nah, man, we're good. We're going to win it. Aline, probably a D. I can't be a D. He got recalled from Watford, played like 5 games. Can't be a D. He was all right. Had a bad game against Bodo Glimt, for sure. Bad take of the month. Guys, to be fair, USA is not going to win the World Cup. I thought you would kind of get my sarcasm there, but I guess not. I guess you don't get my sarcasm. Sorry. Apologies. Arsenal fans have said Arteta scared away Pep, and he's the 3rd best manager in Prem history. Feel bad for Aline, was doing so well at Watford. He ruined his development. Yeah, I think he'll go back on loan. Or we'll sell him. But he's probably not going to make it. C for Max. Saw him against United, and he was not good. That's true, but he's also like 20 years old. I don't know what we were expecting. Poch to carry the USA. Still had to troll you. Ha 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 ha. USA versus World Cup versus Spurs UCL. Spurs UCL is worse than that. Kovacic. Probably a C. Played like 7 games. Was alright. Injured a lot of the year with that Achilles heel, whatever it was. I think it was an Achilles, or maybe it was his heel. But he had a pretty big injury, and he didn't really make much of an impact on the season, so I go C. It's our job to troll you. Fair. That is true. That is kind of true. I do accept that a little bit. I accept the trolling has to be done a little bit, here and there. I'll allow it. Kovacic, I don't think we'll have any complaints on. He's just an easy C. Nathan Ake did not play very much, but when he did play, and he actually, to be fair, he actually did play quite a bit through our cup runs, and we won both the cups. So I think it's probably fair to say a B for Nathan Ake. I would guess frustrated with game time, probably likely to leave the club in the summer. But I think a B is probably fair for him. And we maybe get 10 mil for him, something like that. 5 to 10 mil. 1 year left on the contract. He's 31. A lot. Ake C. C is harsh. B or A minus when he played, didn't put a foot wrong. That's what I'm saying. For me, Donnarumma A, very close to S, and Nunez A. There is no world where I'm putting Donnarumma in S, brother. Not a chance. Not a chance in the world, my guy. I want Carlos Baleba. Mateus Fernandez. Baleba kind of fell off. You don't hear anybody about those. You get compliments here and there. Trolling has to be more uniformly spread. More frequent. Who's been our worst player? Well, we're getting there. Eventually we'll finish this list and then we'll know. Then we'll know for sure. I don't know. Not there yet. James Trafford, ladies and gentlemen, he led us or assisted in leading us to 2 cup wins, the domestic double. James Trafford was the goalie for all of those games. I'd say that's a pretty good season for James Trafford. Yes, he made an error against Brighton, but in the cup games, he made no errors as far as I can remember. He maybe spilled a set piece against Newcastle, if I remember right, but reclaimed it and was all right. I'm thinking A or B. Is it weird to put him in A because he's our backup goalie? Like, he didn't play enough games to be an A-tier player? Like, how many games did he play? Like 12? 16 games. 3 in the Prem, 6 in the FA Cup, 6 in the EFL Cup, and 1 Champions League game. 16 games. Maybe it can't put him in A because there's not enough games. But B, at least, for the Cups. I think A is fine, to be honest with you. Now that I think about it, like, he was really good. Totally changed the way we play and made me realize I don't really like Donnarumma as a goalie as well. I don't really like him. Jeremy Doku. Good debate here. I think at worst, he didn't reclaim it. Nico J cleared off the line. Okay, that's what I'm remembering. That's what I'm remembering. So that's the one error in the Cups and then one error in the Prem. Excellent in the Cups, kind of shaky in the Prem. A. All I will say is that Traff started 2 Cups, both of which we won. Donna started another 2, both of which we lost. Bears, very true. A. All right, Trafford goes A. Trafford goes A, guys. Fair enough. Jeremy Doku, I think, is borderline between S and A. I have a little bit of a hard time putting him in S because the stats I just don't think are there for an S player. Like, Nico O'Reilly at left back has more goals than Jeremy Doku does this year. In the Prem, I think. I could be wrong, but I think that's right. He has 10 goals in 49 games and 11 assists. 10 and 11. That's pretty good. But Nico O'Reilly is my S-tier player currently. And how did he do? 9 goals and 6 assists. And he's a left back. So, it's hard for me to get there for Doku with S. I think A is fair, though, because I would have put him like C last year. And he's been better this year. A. Doku S finally added goals. He single-handedly took over multiple games. Might be recency bias. So the only reason I think that is recency bias is look at these match goal tallies. Yes, he had a little stretch from April to May where he went a goal, nothing, a goal, 2 goals, a goal. But before that, he went 2 months without any goals. He went so long between goals for us. He scored a goal against Liverpool November 9th and then got 1 assist in a FA Cup game against Exeter where we scored 10 goals and no other goals until April. From November to April, he scored no goals. That's why I think S. Recency, though, he's good. And hopefully he can keep this form going into next year. Double GA had 5 a week or 2 ago. That's what I'm saying. This last week or so bumped him up a lot, which is great. I'm happy he's scoring goals and whatnot. But, the season is, 8 months. We can't forget about the other parts. Did you see the Haaland to Real Madrid Barca news? I don't think so, but I don't think Haaland is going to leave. Opinion on the new City kit? The blue one, I like. I like a lot. I don't know if I've seen the other ones, to be honest with you. We've seen Doku play. He had so many cutbacks, which were not found by anyone. He could have gotten more than 20 assists if those cutbacks were taken. Or if he had found someone, he could have gotten more assists, but he passed to no one, potentially. Just another way to look at it, I think A is fair for Doku. John Stones, he might be a D tier. Did he even play? Did he play 500 minutes this year in the Prem? Probably not. No. 361 minutes, 8 games in the Prem, 17 games total. He's played 37 games in the last 2 seasons. Oh, man. John Stones never once reached... Oh, he did. He reached 41 games his first season. Is it crazy to put a D tier for John Stones? I love the guy. I do love the guy, but Mastermind says D. Someone should have been there. I tier for Stones. I forgot. I got injured. I think D tier is unfortunately, I don't want to put him there, but I don't really feel like there's any reason to say he was a C tier player. He played 8 games in the Prem. He played 300 minutes. That's 4 full 90s, basically. I agree. I tier. Well, I can't add another tier, can I? What does this do? I don't know. I didn't make this, so I don't think I can add another tier. But fair enough. Fair enough. I think D is unfortunate positioning. C, I don't think he played bad. I don't think he played bad. I just don't think he played enough to warrant moving up from bottom because he just was injured the whole year, basically. But if we're saying who played better when they played Stones or Savinho, like Stones has been better than Savinho. He just has played 300 minutes. Matheus Nunes, boys. Nunes. We're winding down the list here. Almost getting to the end. Matheus Nunes, I think, probably is S tier. Maybe A for Nunes, but I think Nunes has been so good for most of the year. And he's played probably maybe the most minutes of anyone. Like almost 3,000. S for Cafunes. That's what I'm saying as well. Nunes A tier. S tier. If Statue Tega was here, we'd have another D tier. Stones and Kova injured tier. A's had mistakes. I don't mind S. He's had some mistakes, but like you can be an S tier player and have a few off games. Like he has played so much football for us, right? 53 games, 34 in the Prem, 4 in the Cup, 5 in the EFL Cup, 6 Champions League games. I 5 assists as well from right back. Like look at the like uptick in his transfer value as well after last year when he was like not playing well and not really getting minutes in midfield, and then the right back move and he's back up to a 60 million pound player or dollar. Is this dollars? This is dollars. So I think S. I think S. In the beginning, I don't know, man. I think he's been one of our best, like 3 or 4 players this year, Matheus Nunes. Ortega is better than all our goalies right now. He may have cost us the league. Brighton handball. Yeah, but you can't say that because we had 9 draws. Like any individual error in a draw could have cost us the league. You know. He became better right back than Rico, Trent, and Frimpong. I back that. I think he's been better than all of those. Although Rico's been atrocious and Frimpong has been bad. Cost us the same amount as Gahey, if not more. A. All Things Football is very hard on this A tier, but I think it's S. Marmouche is a tough one. He's a D tier, isn't he? Like, Marmouche is just a D tier. He's been so bad. Like, he has no minutes. He doesn't score. He's barely played. 39 games, 8 goals. Like, that ain't enough. That's bad. 3 goals in the Prem, 700 minutes. It's got to be an F or a D, right? Marmouche C. What's up, Omar? S or A, he's been great. Also, we're unbeaten with him starting. Good shout on Nunes, yeah. C tier for Marmouche. Marmouche D, nowhere near last season. It's close between D and C. Like, he's been better than Savinho, I think. Probably. But has he been better than Phil? Or as good as Phil? Like, I don't know. Has he been as good as Aït-Nouri? I feel like no. Put Marmouche in the Nunes tier for the Darwin Nunes tier for the Southampton game. The amount of chances he missed was more than people in the world. Jeez. I don't know. I feel like while I'm thinking about it, it may be fair to move Kovacic down to D tier. He did score a couple crucial goals against Newcastle. True. Is he a C tier player? Gonna move Kovacic down maybe? Just because he's been so injured? It's a difficult one. I guess maybe I'll just leave it for now. Maybe we can put a lot of you guys are saying C for Marmouche. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But I'll concede. I guess we can go C. Although I think it's close to a D. It's close to a D. It's about as bad as it could potentially get for Marmouche here. Ryan Cherokee, I mean, it's either A or S, and I'm probably leaning S. He's been phenomenal. Very, very good. Stats are really good. And the impact on games is really good. What are we saying? 11 goals, 17 assists. I mean, he's almost at 30 GA in his first year. Like that's S tier. Yeah. That's S tier for sure. Maybe you'd like a little bit more goal output in the Prem, but 12 assists is fantastic. I think S tier, and that's probably an easy one. S plus, S tier. Savinho's S tier. Yeah, of course. S tier, yeah. Okay. S tier, no needed debate really. Rico Lewis, I think, is a fairly easy one. He has basically not played at all, and not been injured. He's just been not good. So, I mean, D, like D tier. I just think that's how it goes for Rico. Sorry, bro. You're not good enough to play. You're D tier. Low-key smart move for Newcastle would be to sign Marmouche. Maybe. D tier? Yeah, I think D is easy. Easy call for Rico Lewis there for sure. Pretty easy, yeah. It's unfortunate because I like him. You know, he's an academy kid. You like seeing the academy kids come through and make it, but he'll leave in the summer, 100%. Couple more. Rodri. What do you guys think about Rodri? That one is, I don't know. Like, it's between C and B, I think. Maybe B. Maybe B. Is he on Ruben Diaz, Nico G level, Ake level? He's definitely not A, I don't think. Nico G to Spurs? Maybe. If they stay up, which I do think they'll stay up, potentially. Perhaps. C tier, 100% for Rodri. B tier, Rodri is B. I was leaning B tier as well, guys. I was leaning B tier as well for Rodri. We've definitely seen better seasons of Rodri, but he's also been, at times when he's out there, you're like, wow, he's definitely better than Nico G. But he's also been bad some games as well. Quite underwhelming. Rodri's back to peak for a stretch of a few games. I think the peak of Rodri has obviously been better than Nico G, but he's also had some really stanky games. So I think B is fair. I wouldn't put him A. I think C is a bit too harsh. Only a few left. Antoine Semenyo, boys. Antoine Semenyo for the tier list. I've liked Semenyo. A lot. I probably would lean towards like an A. I mean, we wanted a goal-scoring winger, and he just came in and scored like 13 goals or something for us, right? He's basically doing exactly what we asked. 26 games, 10 goals, and 3 assists. How many in the Prem? 6 and 16. I mean, that's, for a winger, like, I think A. I think A tier. Yeah. Semenyo A. A lot of A's. Oh, I missed a Rodri comment. Rodri's been all right. Some games he played good. We see a glimpse. Other games, really bad. Yeah, I'm with that. On to Donnarumma. Divisive player, this one right here. A bit divisive of a player. What are you guys thinking? Donnarumma. I would probably go B. Personally, I think Trafford has been better most of the time. But I don't think Donnarumma has been bad per se. He's been big in certain games, saved a lot of potential goals, I think a B is probably fair. B. C's been rubbish in the second half. A, mistakes put him out of S. There's no world where he's anywhere near S. Bro, no way. Highest I can go on Donnarumma is B. He makes way too many mistakes. He's made way more mistakes, like, per appearance than Trafford has. Surely. He is horrendous at crosses, at set pieces. Terrible playing out the back. But he is a very good shot stopper. And he's big. And he seems like a leader out there, which is, like, valuable as well. But I don't know. Don haven't been that bad. A or B? I think B. I think B. I think B. He also made 3 times more appearances. Yes, he's made more appearances, and he's had way more mistakes. That's what I'm saying. I think Trafford mistakes, you can think about 2. He made 1 passing out the back error against Brighton, and he made that error against Newcastle that we talked about. That's 2 mistakes off the top of my head. I can list like 10 instances of Donnarumma costing us. He was horrible against Real Madrid. He was horrible in that West Ham game. How many times does a ball come in on a cross where he's just like flapped at it? Probably like 6 times throughout the year. So, like, I wish Donnarumma was as good as I thought he was. He just isn't. He just isn't as good as I thought he would be, unfortunately. B. Not what's this guy's name? Naipan. I'm not gonna rate because he's played no minutes. So, like, what's the point? Bettinelli also has played no minutes. The West Ham goal. That's what I'm saying. That was disgusting as well. Gabrielle says, thank you for the amazing gift on Tuesday. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't really a gift because you're going to win on Sunday anyway. So, like, I don't think it really mattered, but you're welcome, I guess. And versus Leverkusen and Spurs, but yes, it's B. Got to keep your facts straight. I don't remember the errors against Leverkusen or Spurs. I have to repay you someday with a $100,000 super chat, and then we'll be even. Am I the only one who thinks our transfer business has been underwhelming? Well, we'll see how it is the rest of this summer. Big summer. Big summer. But yes, I think that's a fair argument. I think it's a fair argument to bring up. I'm not going to do Bettinelli. I'm not going to do Naipan. Reinders is the last one on the list. Reinders is an interesting one as well. I feel like potentially we're in that C range. Like, it's not a D. He still has like 15 G&A. But he's also not been a mainstay in the team. He's not been as good as we would have hoped. I think C. D, he sold us dreams. Listen, man. He can't be a D. Like, he's been bad at times, but the goal output is still there. 14 G&A. Like, that's still pretty good. 5 goals, 2 assists in the Prem. He's got 3 assists in the Champions League in 10 games. Like, do I want him to be better? Yes, I would like him to be better. But surely that's like a C-tier season, right? Reinders set the bar too high in the Wolves. He's a C. He did. That was his best game of the season, unfortunately. D-tier. C. I think he's much better than he played. He could have, honestly, like 15 goals, this guy. He gets in good positions. He just, like, fluffs the shot. Probably a C. He did miss crucial shots. I agree. We can have Kepa. Pass. I think we're all right. I don't think we need Kepa, man. Sleeper would be nice, yeah. Although we're pretty good at center backs. We're pretty good at center backs. Anyway, that is the tier list. I think our best 3 players this year have been Nico O'Reilly, Nunez, and Cherky. Kuznov rounds out top 4. Haaland is in there for top 5. If I'm going to order them a bit, I'd probably go like that. Probably that. And then probably something like that, I think. Reinders has the worst profile on our team, for our team. He would be amazing for Madrid. Rico's our worst. I think Rico's probably had the worst season. Like, Savinho still had a man of the match or two in there. Rico has been bad all year. I think Rico's probably been the worst, unfortunately for him. Top 3, O'Reilly, Cherki, Haaland. 4, Kuzanov. 5, Bernardo. Why is Bernardo not on this list, by the way? Whoever made this screwed me, and they didn't let me have Bernardo. I just realized that. Luis Skelly's about to get a World Cup call-up. That's crazy. Cherki over Nunez. We can do that. We can do Cherki over Nunez. Why isn't Haaland an A tier? He is. He's an A tier. Rico had a good game against Exeter. We won 10-1. They were like 4th tier team. That doesn't count. Bernardo's A tier. But where's Bernardo's little picture? Can I add an additional image? Hold on. Bernardo Silva. Save image. Nope, that's not going to work. Images. Bernardo. Come on. Why is it not letting me download this picture, man? Making me a web file. I can't do a web file. Let me go to Twitter and do it this way. Bernardo. I don't want a video. I want a picture. There he is. Save image. Bernardo. Bang. Choose a file. Pictures. Hold. Where did the pictures go? I don't know. Shoot, where did it go? There it is. There he is. Got him. Bernardo. Bernardo A tier or B tier, guys? A tier? Advanced editing montage. Just say he'd be in B? No, I had to throw it in there. This is your anti-aging bias. Let's not forget we won a treble, got a trophy versus Palmero. Technically, I guess. It's a valuable trophy. Do you want Rice for Cherki? Can't do it, man. I do like Rice, though. Rajak in the quest for Bernardo picture. Won't you take Angelo Stiller? I've heard good things, but I haven't seen him enough, to be honest with you, to know. So, sorry. Maybe. I probably prefer Enzo Fernandez over him. Anyway, I think Bernardo's probably A tier above Trafford. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Haaland should be first in A tier. Nah, I think Kusanov's been better. Oriano says, hey man, how are you doing, Oriano? You missed most of the stream, to be honest. We're probably about to wrap it up, but welcome in. Hope you're doing all right. We have our ranking of City players season right here. If anyone has a shout to move someone, we can, but I think this is pretty fair. Haaland too low. You think? Should he move? Ahead of Kuzanov? I don't know. I feel like Kuzenov's been so good. The nose on that guy is crazy. Crazy player, crazier nose. Jeez. I think this is fair, guys. I think this is roughly correct, you know? And I like it. I'll put it out there on Twitter. Maybe I'll make a little short about it as well and see what people say. He's Premier League top scorer. Yes, but like he needed this is not his S tier season, you know? What's he got? He's got like 28 goals. He needs to be at 35 for S tier because we know that's what he can do. He had a stretch of like 10 games where he scored 1 goal or something. Haaland can make it S tier. This is Glaze. Doku should be S tier. Saved you an Everton game, which didn't really matter. No, Doku's been good lately, but not good enough to make it an S tier for me, personally. You glaze Kuzenov. I feel like I'm not even glazing Kuzenov. Am I glazing him? Like, he's been really good. You go Haaland ahead of Kuzenov. Fine. At one point, Haaland carried us. At no point did Kuzenov carry us. Fine. Fine. I'll move Haaland to 4th. Kuzenov 5th. I don't know. I thought you guys liked... I didn't even feel like I was glazing Kuzenov that hard, to be honest. But Kuzenov is really good. Thank you, Omar. Thank you, man. Jeez. Some of you guys wanted me to put him in S. Anyway. I do appreciate hanging out with me this evening. That is it for the stream. City do play again. Last game of the season coming up here on Sunday. We'll be live for the game. Have a good time. And I don't know, if you haven't already, like the video, like the stream, of course. That is super helpful for me. Subscribe to the channel. And, of course, consider becoming a member where you get unlimited DMs with the streamer, with me. You get early access to videos as well. Whenever I have members, of course, I will put out members-only content or members-first content as well. So, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Anyone else got anything good in there? Hilarious. Funny, funny, funny. See you guys later. Peace. Thank you for watching. Come on, City. Let's get a win. Last game of the season. And then it's a World Cup. And we'll